Everyone needs to take from the Amy Luciani and Dwight Howard situation from that live video that she did that has gone a bit viral, where she's in the car crying and essentially exposing Dwight Howard, which is her new husband. I think they're technically still newlyweds. I think it's been only maybe a year or almost a year. Oh no, she said in the video it's been 14 months that they've been married. She was in the car crying and exposing his powder substance abuse slash addiction, and explaining how his addiction has caused him to quote not be himself and make other people lie on his behalf, including his children, which are now her stepchildren, and even convinced and coerced her stepson to lie to the police on her for him. And I guess that was her last straw. She talked a bit about that in the live. And she was pretty upset. So I have actually been following Amy on Instagram for a little while, ever since I saw her just kind of popping up in little clips here and there. I believe she was on Love and Hip Hop at the time, but I really came across her YouTube channel and I thought she was hilarious. I saw a video of her with goats or something. I don't know. It was hilarious. She's funny, and I thought she was pretty, and I really liked her hair. So there was like really just simple, superficial reasons as to why I had followed her. And I saw her content before she got with Dwight. I saw her content before she got on TV. And she was always pretty much an entrepreneur about her business, which was hair and some other things. And she was always just promoting her next thing. And, it just seemed like a money girl to me. And then all of a sudden, she got with Dwight and she kind of went ghost a little bit, but then she would just pop up and keep talking about him. And she popped up when they were married, but no one knew that they were dating. No one knew when they got engaged. She just popped up with him married. And it just seemed very sudden. Turns out they did get married extremely quickly. He locked it down very quickly. And his ex, Royce Reed, came out and exposed him very shortly after they announced that they were married, and exposed him for being DL, exposed him for being physically abusive to her, exposed him for being a narcissist, and just all the things. She did a ton of story times on her YouTube channel. And I did watch them, all of them, when she did them, which was, I think, last year. Amy didn't say anything. She defended Dwight. She also insinuated that Royce was crazy. So that's all that people can talk about right now, is that, oh, she should have listened to his first baby mom. She should have listened to the ex. She should have listened to Royce. Everyone's kind of saying, oh, you kind of get what you deserve because you didn't listen to the ex. That's what the comment sections are being flooded with, that type of told you so rhetoric. But I think people are missing a huge point in what she said that I want to talk about. People are missing when she actually said that the reason why she stayed with Dwight is because her married friends and every married woman around her kept telling her to stay. There was a point 6 months into the marriage, they broke up. And it was really apparent on her Instagram. Again, I was following her. She deleted all pictures of him. All of a sudden, she started promoting her businesses again. And yeah, she kind of detached herself from him, stopped wearing her ring, all the things. Then about a month goes by. She went ghost again, came back, popped up, sitting on his lap, saying, "We're back together. God said we're not finished. I'm going to be a good wife to him. I'm going to stick out this marriage. I, made a promise to God in my vows." It was really, really religious long caption that she did. So without telling all her business, that's what she told us. And the comment sections were like, yes, yes, black love, we love it. Okay. And she said in the live where she was crying that at that time when she filed for divorce, only 6 months into the marriage, so many of her married friends were saying it's too soon for you to give up. You gotta see it through. You gotta work through it. That's your husband. Don't give up so fast. Don't run away. Stick it out. See it through. God wouldn't want this. And she says that is the reason why she decided to go back, because she was listening to her married friends, assuming that if they're married, they know what they're talking about. She doesn't want to listen to the single friends. She doesn't want to listen to any of the quote haters in the comment section talking about the ex. She only wants to take advice from women in her life that have long relationships and are married. Besides the fact that she married an ex NBA player, 5 baby mothers, who's a known narcissist and has had a rumor of being DL attached to him for decades. Besides the fact that she allowed this man to lock her child free, free spirited, successful self down so quickly. Besides that being a huge mistake, her listening to her married friends is a close second. And this is something that I had to realize as I got older. Married women are the worst women to get advice from. The worst. Married women are the worst women to get advice from, especially if they have been married for a long time. I'm even going to throw in women that are in long-term relationships. I mean, common law style marriages, 10 years plus. I'm going to throw them in here as well because they swear that they got it all figured out because they've been able to, quote, keep a man for so long. But here's the thing. A lot of those women are not smart. They swear that they have some type of cheat code because they've been sleeping with the same man for so long, but they don't. They've actually been under the control, and sometimes, especially if they grew up together and got, married or got together very, very young, they grew up together and have been kind of molded and gelled together. That woman who grew up with this boy, who then turned into a young man and who is now a man, if she's been with the same man that she was with since before her prefrontal cortex was developed, I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of her mouth. Women that grew up with their man, women that have been with their man for a really long time, women that have been married for a long time, they do not know men. They know their man, and they know their man very well, to the point where they're probably just a subsection of their man and literally a sidekick in their man's life. And their man is the main character. But married women and women in long-term relationships, they swear they know men, but they only know their man. That's it. They want to give advice as if they know some secret to keeping a man, when the things that they had to go through and tolerate to, quote, keep that man, you wouldn't even want to know, and they probably would never ever tell you the full truth because it's embarrassing. However, they are going to lead you astray just because they had to go through it. Just for some sick humiliation ritual. They want to make sure that you don't get the easy way out because they didn't take it. So they're going to convince you to stay in a relationship. They're going to convince you to go through the trials and tribulations. They're going to convince you to see it through. They're going to convince you to take them back. They're going to convince you that cheating is a mistake because they had to convince themselves of these things. And seeing you stand up for yourself irritates the fact that they didn't. Married women, if you take their advice, they will literally pull you down to the pits of hell. What I've realized are the women that know men for real, are women that work in male-dominated fields and are single enough to be able to mingle with these men and really hang out with them and get to know them, especially in a work area when you really get to see their dominance, their ruthlessness, hear some of their banter, some of their talk, see them cheat on their wives at home with their work wives at work. Women that work in male-dominated fields and really get to be with those men, they know men. Single women, and not single as in desperate and looking and taking whatever they can get single, but single and picky and content. Those type of single women who are running a strict program, they're not taking no mess, they're on to the next. They know men. That's why their program is so strict. Taking advice from single women that are like that is some of the best advice you will ever get. And the last group of women that know men, and they probably know men the best, are sex workers. Sex workers know men not just because of the superficial reason why you would think, oh, because they know how to please them. No, it's not that at all. Sex workers get to know a man because the man's not trying to impress them. And a lot of times, the sex workers are the man's therapist, their outlet, and they just tell them so many things. If you've ever talked to one, they know men very, very, very well. Those are the women that know men. Married women do not know men. So all of her married friends were telling her to ignore all the red flags, stick it out, see it through. You made a vow. Even though those said red flags, illegal substances, CPS being called on the home, on the children, violence, DL allegations, they told her to ignore all of that.